Yeah, we back.
We're back.
Man.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's been a eventful few days.
The
final stretch, man. October's done. October's over that fast. It's over.
Yeah.
And November's here.
Hey, yo, let's get it, bro.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's tapped in. Shout out to everybody that had an incredible weekend. We got back Market Mondays, 28th of October. Shout out to everybody that's tapped in. Shout out to everybody that was in the class on Thursday. All the earners, all the Red Panda family. Welcome back.
Yes.
A lot of shit to get into today, man.
For sure. So before we start, want to say we got a lot to talk about on Blackout. You know, there's been a lot that's been happening in the world of hip hop, for sure, and the world of politics, for sure.
Yes.
So, man, this is going to be something that, man, it's unbelievable actually how much stuff has happened over the last 7 days. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about all of that stuff for sure. We're going to talk about Puerto Rico is a
trash
bucket
in the middle of the ocean.
That's crazy.
Gotta talk about
you come to New York and see this?
Federal indictments that's going around. It's a lot going on right now, man. So
statues being built. I want y'all to get
Jeffrey from Fresh Prince got a statue.
Uncle Drew.
That's crazy. Yeah.
10 o'clock on Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then this Thursday. New addition to our how-to series. We got Dave Shands, who's going to come on, and he's going to teach a class on how to go from being a 9-to-5 employee to a high six-figure entrepreneur. So this is, he's the everyday man. So we ain't want to talk about, $30 million, $100 million valuations. We want to do like the realistic, the guy that's right now.
Yep.
Trying to figure out his 9-to-5 that's driving a bus or in sanitation work or working in Applebee's, that every day, because that's where Dave comes from. He used to work in Cheesecake Factory.
Yep.
And then he's working in the kiosk. So he's that low paying 9-to-5 worker. Like that's where he comes from, that low paying 9-to-5 worker. So his thing is like he wants to get the low paying 9-to-5 worker or just a 9-to-5 worker in general to a high six figures. And it is possible. And we're going to go over a step-by-step blueprint on how to do that. Like I said, he's obviously done it himself, and he's created a whole thesis around it. So this is going to be how to go from a 9-to-5 worker to a high six-figure entrepreneur. Step-by-step blueprint. It will be live, so we will be answering questions for anybody that's out there trying to figure out their job, working 2 jobs, working the night shift, paying back student loans, staying up late at night, trying to Google their life away, listening to podcasts. This is for y'all. This is for everybody that's trying to figure it out, right? So this is important. So that's at 9 o'clock on Thursday. Shout out to Dave Shands.
So he not gonna dirty Mac on this episode?
Nah. That was the week. I put the disclaimer out. No dirty Mac in, but it's real, man. Like you said, we actually saw him at the kiosk and bought some t-shirts from him. So to watch his growth inside the world of entrepreneurism has been incredible. We've watched the journey. He's watched our journey, been part of it from day one. So I'm excited for it. You're talking about a guy who was doing the 9-to-5, or like I said, in the educational world, we're doing the 8-to-3 to figuring out how to navigate as an entrepreneur myself. So I'm excited to give some insight into it too.
And then the last thing that I'll say is 2 events this week. On Wednesday, we will be in Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey.
Shout out to Beyond Win, the Browns, Cavaliers.
They got to win this weekend.
Yeah. Shout out to the whole Cleveland crew. So that's at Cuyahoga Community College. We will be there. Cuyahoga Community College, 440 Richmond Road. So RSVP is, you got to sign up for it.
Yes.
But Cuyahoga Community College, come check us out in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
Shout out to the double O. As Cameron would say, and the double O, I represent the CO.
Nice to get in Ohio.
And then
first time in Cleveland too.
And then
really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a time.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, EYL University exclusive, only for EYL University members. We have an in-person event only for EYL University members in Houston, Texas. Saturday, we pulling up. So if you at EYL University, make sure you RSVP for that secret location, and we're gonna have a good time for sure.
Yeah, people were asking for the location over the weekend, so please register. I can't tell you on a public broadcast where it's going to be.
Yeah, you pulling up, right?
Yep, me and Xander.
Ian will
perfect,
be in the building.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Ian. All right, sure. Ian, any announcements?
Yes, if you want to get rich from the market, go to eyaninvest.com. Shout out to everybody in Red Panda. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. The NVIDIA's up 185% on the year. I don't want to hear nothing else. Stock Club call will be this Wednesday. Go to Telegram for the time. And shout out to the Raiders. Shout out to my brother Jacoby. Amazing game in the Myers family. Buccaneers. Been making my rounds and shit. Hey, you can provide criticism, but I'm gonna provide elevation. So stay tuned.
Okay.
What do I know? What do I know? Blackout gonna be amazing. Rashad, can you promise you won't let me go too far when I get to talk about this?
Please.
What do I know? The news segment. Oh man, y'all know how this works, man. This is a disclaimer. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Y'all know how this goes. Do the research, share the research, make money off the research, give love to the people you heard it from. Let's keep rinsing, repeating that, and let's win, y'all. Love is love.
All
right. So let's start. Apple releases Apple Intelligence. Oh, and today we will be interviewing. We got a segment when we was in Miami with Vlad Tenev.
Yeah.
Vlad Tenev, CEO of Robinhood. We're going to talk about how they, they just opened up the futures trading for the presidential election. So
Smart
Vlad Tenev,
he was mentioning some things he couldn't announce just at that moment, and then obviously we see the announcement.
Legend in the game. So so that's later on in the episode. So Apple releases Apple Intelligence. Do you think that it will have an impact on the stock?
And the voice of Kodak Black, hope so. I don't know if it will, but I hope so. We'll talk about the production of the Vision Pro being reduced. But I do think they need a big technological win, and because the phones and the Vision Pro has not done it, I definitely hope Apple Intelligence will provide that. So I'll play around with it for the next 48 hours, 72 hours, and I'll report back next week what I like. But if I have to be a betting man as of now, I will say it won't move the needle on the stock for like the next 6 months, probably.
Apple.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Let's tell the truth.
It's an interesting time. Shout out to my man Dan Ives. I always like listening to Dan Ives. He's an Apple bull case guy. And if you look at the reports, obviously this is a big week. We can't overlook that. This is a big week for earnings. Tesla, we saw happen last week. We got Microsoft, we got Apple, we got Amazon, we got Google, we got AMD. All of them are reporting either tomorrow or before the end of the week. So it's a big week. All the signs, and we talked about the importance of the iPhone itself. We got Verizon reporting saying lackluster sales for it. T-Mobile, lackluster sales.
For the phone?
For the phone.
Told you.
AT&T, lackluster. That doesn't point to something great. So here's the interesting part, though. When you talk about we saw how much it was weighted on the stock. You got 1.5 billion iPhones in circulation. About 300 million of those phones are in the upgrade window. So when they say upgrade window, some of these plans have the buy one, get this new one next year, or you've had the phone for 2 years and now you're going to upgrade. The last time that this happened, I think last quarter or 2 quarters ago, maybe year to date, they had about 130 million in the upgrade window. So that's doubled, right? So you can see that there might be some revenue space inside there. The interesting part is that, and we kind of mentioned it, was like they're going to put you in a situation where if you want the newest technology, you have to get the newest phone. And so they announced Apple Intelligence, but it only works if you have an iPhone 15 or
16. Yep.
So if you don't have that, like I think I have a 14, you got like a 13? Right. So if you want to use the Apple Intelligence, it's not going to work. So in a sense, you're almost now forced to upgrade. I know they're not going to do the announcement of a new phone every year, but that puts people in the pocket. And I know, a lot of times with the brand loyalty, people don't want to be left behind in technology. And so that puts you in an interesting proposition. But when I was listening to Ives, he said something very important. yes, the iPhone sales are important, but the service business is important too.
Yeah, I've always said that.
Right? We're talking about billions, 28 billion, 30 billion. You start to see that in the quarters, but Apple Intelligence opens the doorway for more apps to now be built with Apple Intelligence. And so you start to look at the services side, and now you might be talking about hundreds, if not tens of thousands, new apps in the next 2 to 3 quarters, 4 quarters that are going to be using that intelligence. So now the service business also has higher revenues. So I'm kind of like in between here. I think that I don't know if it's a lackluster quarter. I think the future guidance of some of these things where there's revenue pockets, I think they have a good quarter. I think they have a good quarter. They stopped doing the future guidance, so we're not going to even have to look to that. But I think people are going to be surprised. I'll be honest.
Mike, can you keep it side by side, please? I'm gonna do the Woody. I'm gonna be the truth teller. Apple in its history,
no, side by side, Mike. Thanks.
Has never talked about upgrade windows for anybody who bought any of their fucking tech ever since I followed them since 2003. Never. My grandmother had an Apple too. This was never. They sound like IBM now. Since I first did my first interview with you guys, Apple was the main company that I talked about in portfolio construction, right? Outside of indexes. I don't know what this company is anymore. I really don't. Too many missteps. The report in the future guidance. I remember we had the conversation when that first happened. I'm like, why? Only time you want to hide the numbers is when the numbers are not good. I still love Apple, but when I love something, I want it to improve. For the first time in my adult life, people don't care about upgrading to the phone at all. So I know there's a lot of money made in the services business, of course.
Yep.
But that's driven off of this hardware first. So if this don't improve, like you can only put 22s on a Pontiac Firebird from 96 for so long until you're like, fuck it. I want the Bentley. I want something that looks a lot better with better. I hate to keep laboring this point because I love Apple dearly.
Yeah.
But they're doing a horrible fucking job. Like when they start talking about production and upgrade number cycles, opposed to what they're going to do to improve the product, not good. Will they have a good quarter? Yes. It won't be because of the software. Definitely won't be because of the phone. I told everybody from the beginning, and I hate to even have to take this stance, that competition between Zuckerberg and Tim Cook. Zuckerberg put him in a trick bag, and you thought that you was just going to be able to out innovate and copy their model, and he put that fucking rear naked chokehold on you as a CEO and made you tap out. Don't nobody want that fucking Vision Pro or this same re-rocked ass phone. For everyone who's been saying they've done this forever, no. They found Steve Jobs' rhyme book.
So where's the growth come from? Right, if it's not going to be the phone, if it's not going to be service, I know they have to
focus on improvement of the phone and healthcare.
Okay, because they announced the M4 chip, which is priced at $1,300. Maybe this isn't obviously you're talking about just revenue sources.
Yeah, they
talked about the new MacBook, which is an upgrade. The sales from that has gone up 3%.
AirPod Pro still solid. That's right. Dr. Dre's work, right? But my thing is the main thing has to be the main thing. No matter what I go do, and some of y'all get mad at me doing other shows and interviews and shit, I'm never going to leave getting the prices right. This is a case of them not, and this happened before when Scully took over. And then Steve Jobs isn't here to come and resurrect the company. But I think they need some of those old people there, like Ive and some of the old guard, to tell them. And there's too much circle jerking going on at HQ and Apple, to be honest. I said Tim Cook's an amazing CEO, but no one's giving much pushback on these products or releases because they want to stay inside the empire forever, which I understand. But it's not a good sign. Like right now, if you have to pick between Apple and TSM, who are you picking?
Well, you know what I'm picking.
Apple and NVIDIA.
I did a whole dissertation on these.
And we got to 5 companies before you pick Apple, right?
I still like Apple. I still take it.
I do too.
Take it. In fact, he actually went as far to say is the race to 4 trillion, they'll be the first ones there. I'm not going that far, but he did say that. And I'm like, oh, well, how? So now I got to research the how. And that'll be a whole dissertation in itself. But you're talking about a company when we talk. Obviously, we know what the product it does for itself. We didn't even talk about the Vision Pro, which they're now cutting production on. In the iteration that it is now, I still think they'll have a device. But we'll see, man. I think the quarter we know from a quarterly basis going into the winter months or the fourth quarter of the year. This is usually when you start to see an uptick in Apple. We'll see. Thursday is going to be interesting, man.
Quarter would be good.
It's gonna, we'll start seeing
about the long-term prospects. You guys stop worrying about earnings.
Don't worry about them, but you should, if you're into that, definitely read them because there's tea leaves inside there.
Yeah, you look for the numbers, not what the stock does.
Yeah, you're not basing like, hey, I'm going to invest now because they have earnings Thursday. No, we're not saying that. But part of your research is to see what the company's providing, where they're lacking, and then making decisions.
Rashad, let's do the eye test. Put in chat if you want the new Apple iPhone, yes or no.
Put in chat, yes or no, C or no. Okay. Tesla, biggest stock increase of the company's history last week, 20% in one day on positive outlook. Elon, social commentary has not affected the stock at all. Political commentary, political rhetoric has not affected the stock at all. So Tesla's on a tear right now. It's at around like 263.
Yeah.
And people obviously are interested in Tesla now. They back, goes up and down. Tesla stock is very volatile. But how far can this go?
Some people are asking if we'll keep the stand frame. If we'll go to 300, if Trump gets in office, yes. We want to be very clear. If Senior Trump gets in office, to the moon.
Well, I mean, it's definitely, all right, let's be honest. No matter who's in office, it's impossible for it not to be at 300 by 2027. It's 2024 now, right?
Yep.
And it's at 263.
Unless he steps away from being CEO and focuses on Starlink. That's the only way I can see it doesn't stay at 300 and sustains there.
Yeah. People kind of felt like that was one of the sentiments around it, was like he doesn't have the attention that's needed for Tesla. But obviously,
I mean,
the numbers show different.
It may not be the attention. It may be that it's just not the best vehicle to stay with. Starlink better. SpaceX, once he caught that rocket out of the air with the chopstick, and then also if you're going to have involvement, now it's different now. If Trump gets in and then the EV push from the government, that contract is awarded to Tesla, then he'll probably stay. But I think if he has two monster businesses, maybe he moves to chairman and finds another CEO. I don't think that he'll stay there probably through 2027. But if he does and Trump is in office, it'll definitely be there for sure. Shout out to everybody who got in at the level that I called here on the show for free. I'm proud of you. Thank you. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. But yeah, the only way I don't see them staying above 300 is if he walks away and he goes to be a chairman. Yeah,
I'm gonna say shout out to everybody and to Panama. Shout out to our guy Panama. He actually texted me. We went back in our text conversations in February, and he asked me a call I was looking at, and I told him Tesla 250, but December of 2026, December of 2026, and I had given him a paragraph as why I thought of it. And at the time, Tesla was at 172. I actually sold the position the other day when they had their earnings. I was just like, you know what, we'll find another entry. It's gotten too high, but one of the reasons is you got to find the why. And so, why did it shoot up to have it in its best day in the company's history? Well, they're talking about a 20 to 30% growth in revenue. That's exciting to investors, right? Obviously, that's not exciting, but maybe we got to look back and revisit what our stance was when we said, hey, sometimes when you offer a cheaper product, maybe that's not the best way to go about it. Well, they're looking at it like now they're counting that as a revenue, and it's looking like, hey, people actually wanted a cheaper model for 2025, and they're going to produce on it outside of the autonomous driving, which they showed.
Yeah, that's what really drove
that helped it. But
a lot.
when they announced it, that's what I'm saying. When they announced the robo taxi and the what they call the little robot thing, when they announced it,
they should have called it fake.
The dupe, we saw the stock pull back.
Yeah. And I said it was a mistake thing. I think they people overreacted.
When you say,
and the Cybertruck sales too.
When you say paraphrasing, you said like when he steps away for something more lucrative or What'd you say again? You said something to the effect of like, Say it. What'd you say?
Yeah, if he steps away from Tesla, becomes chairman, and focuses on SpaceX and Starlink. Like, if we're going to be very honest, I put this on Twitter over the weekend. Right now, I have Starlink is the number 2 startup in the world. I think it could be the biggest service business in the history of America if he executes it right.
Well, no, Starlink is going to be huge, and then Neuralink is going to be huge as well, and SpaceX is going to be big. But you know, there's a few golden rules in life, right? One of those golden rules is to go after what pays, right? So he made $26 billion last week in one day, right?
But him being chairman, he still will have on. He just
no. But I'm saying, but that's because he's focused on the company, right?
Yeah.
So a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So it's like you got to focus on the pathway in front of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a pathway in front of him right now that's taking him to heights that we've never seen in the history of the world, right? He made $26 billion in one day last week with Tesla. I
told everybody to get in at 212.
No. What I'm saying is that I don't see any reason why he would not focus on that company.
But that's what so here's the thing.
You can focus as chairman.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Maybe a month or two ago, this is literally what I said, and y'all were being contradictory to that point that you just made. I'm like, yo, the main thing is the main thing. If he keeps the main thing, everything else. Okay. I also said I'm not. Let's not put words in each other's mouths here. What I'm saying is that you said words. Let's not. You said words. I'm just asking, is that pause? That's not pause.
Can you recant that?
I recant the pause.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this. No,
I love the show.
Let's not put anything in each other's
mouths. Every company that he's involved with is powerful, including Twitter, for a different reason. Why X is powerful, because that's his media arm and he gets to use it to pump his propaganda. So I'm not saying to not focus on Starlink or that these companies are not important. I'm not saying that at all, because they are very important and they could potentially be worth more than Tesla. They probably have more potential than Tesla. But what I'm saying is that you have to stay focused on Tesla at the same time, because this is the proven gem right here. This is the company that made him the richest person in the world.
That's what I said. That literally was my point.
No, but you could still focus on other companies at the same time.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying the main thing right now is this is the bread and butter. Like literally the golden rule that you're saying is like, yes, these things will eventually and have great potential to be the leader of the portfolio.
You could do two things at one time.
And that's why some of the people start to see Tesla's stock fall. That's what I was saying, right? People were saying, hey, his focus is no longer on the main thing. It might be on Neuralink. It could be on Starlink. It could be elsewhere. It could be on the political process. It could be trying to pay people $1 million to now vote.
Combination.
All these things at the same time. Like, hey, you're still the leader of this. Like, we're invested in this. Like, where's that level?
But also, I'm gonna be real. Shareholders are wrong all the fucking time.
This is also
all like most shareholders gonna be out. They won't say it. I'll say, y'all need to shut the fuck up. In most cases, because the innovation that you want, we see it here. I called NVIDIA before anybody black talked about it. I don't give a fuck what analyst came on. Then all of a sudden it became popular. Okay, cool. I agree. He has to focus on Tesla, but everybody put in chat, what is the current valuation of Starlink? This is before it's publicly traded.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who works in Tesla, this part of the research. At some point, you got to get outside the books for everybody watching the audience and talk to some people in the company and see how much devotion is going to another company. Now, the true brilliant thing, as one of the great whites to walk Earth, is he's going to keep ownership in all. That's the goal, not the day-to-day operations. That's where Steve Jobs made the mistake, that he didn't acquire other companies to build a moat around his own protection. And for when everyone's saying Elon's trying to build a monopoly, he's going to keep it separate so he doesn't get monopoly charges. Yes, he has to focus on Tesla for now. When Starlink goes public, he's going to focus on that as a primary vehicle. And I promise you at some point, he's still going to have the ownership as chairman. He'll still cross promote it, but I'm telling you, like the valuation of Starlink right now is 73 billion. It's not publicly traded.
But the difference with Elon is that we've never seen a company be successful without him involved in it. He's a different type of CEO, right? Like he's not a CEO that is behind the scenes and has empowered people and have created an ecosystem. Even PayPal, they had a spark, but now they're on it.
That's because everybody walked away all at one time.
But I'm just saying, there's no track record. So we don't know. It's not like we can just say, okay, he's built the company, now he can pass it on to leadership, and then he could do that. Elon is a forward-facing CEO, always has been. Is the rock star, all of that. So if he's not heavily involved with a company, we don't know if that company's going to be successful.
True. But once again, I think Starlink will probably right now 2.3.
The only one has been OpenAI.
Well, he was never the CEO of OpenAI, though. That's what I'm saying. He was an investor. He was only an investor.
No. He was
a founder partner with Sam.
Yeah, but he was never ran the company.
It was them two.
No. He never ran PayPal either. Reed ranked higher than him. Peter Thiel ranked higher than him.
Yeah, but PayPal was the company that he actually started, right? He's an early investor in OpenAI. He did start it, but he was never hands-on with OpenAI.
No, not Open.
If we can be real, he got fucked out of OpenAI.
Open Investor is that's similar.
How do you get fucked?
He's a founder of it.
He's not there. That was his idea, and put the original capital into it.
No. The idea part is alleged. That's alleged.
Okay, and if Sam kicked him out and kicked every other founder out, you
can't kick Elon out. You know that. Elon left.
He decided to leave for differences, for creative differences.
He's never going.
But what I'm saying is,
He's not going to get bullied out.
He got pushed out, bro. Yeah. Well, we gonna tell the truth.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Elon's not going to get bullied.
He didn't want it to be a for-profit organization, right? This is true. This is documented, right? What I'm saying is, like,
he got frustrated.
A lot of lies get documented in corporate.
He didn't think it was going to survive without him. He didn't think his ego. If he would have knew that OpenAI was going to be this big, he would have never left.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't just relegate him to an investor.
What's the fight him and Sam had that made him quote unquote leave? Just like when everybody else gets fired, they make him lie. Money would say, oh, they chose to resign and go spend time with their family because of health reasons.
Was money not the issue?
We don't know. We don't know what the issue was.
Well, alleged.
We don't know what the issue was. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about.
Sam, we need to sit down with you.
Another one of the great whites. I mean, that happened.
He said he's one of who was number two? Was it two? The greats, the great whites?
Yeah, for this era for sure.
There's a list.
Yeah, but at 2.3 million users right now worldwide, not being publicly traded, I think there'll be a shift in focus, especially if I can convince my friend if he gets in the office to. Okay, so back in the day when they had the investment quiz question of the night. How much money went into building data centers back in the 90s and copper wires that never got used for the internet? And who got paid off that? The crazy part, Elon actually delivered with Starlink. If it's from
the good old copper wire play.
People already using Starlink right now. So Starlink is going, he gonna make a bunch of money off of Starlink. Yeah. We'll see. We'll monitor the situation. Mm-hmm. That's what we can do.
Shout out to everybody who got in that 212.
For sure.
Yep.
Speaking of that, so last week we did that EYL University Sale, and that class actually very insightful class, great feedback from the class. I think actually some of those calls actually even produced gains already, right?
Yeah, we up I won't say the names of the calls because shout out to all the earners, and we always say like this is a family, so we keep things inside the family. Yeah, but some of them up double digits right now. That was Thursday.
That was on Thursday. Yeah. So I say that to say you're dragging your feet and you're going to end up losing a lot of money because of procrastination. Procrastination is the death of success.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, because a lot of people hit us up after the fact, we have extended this sale for another 24 hours, maybe 48, but right now let's say 24 hours. Code Market Mondays, so you can get the replay. You actually get the replay to that class. Vitally important. I'm not exaggerating here. The calls are already up, so you can actually see in real time. If you would have been on that call on Thursday,
What it cost you.
Right, exactly. So now, but you can, even if you didn't see it, you can go back and you can watch it. It's 2 days late, but I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. So that's vitally important because you get access to the monthly calls. And I'm actually doing a call on Tuesday, tomorrow, actually, with a good friend of mine, Tamika Rose. So we're going to be talking about property and casualty insurance. So this is something that's very big as far as on the property and casualty insurance, because it's like when you go over, car insurance, stuff like that, but homeowners insurance and the risk, like, it's so much stuff. Everybody knows my story. Like, I purchased a home from a guy that was a con artist. So when in the development stage, what you want me to do? So,
tell the truth.
That's a fact. So it's so much.
Blackout. I think we got last name wrong.
I should. So what I'm going to do is bring her on because, man, like, build this risk insurance. There's so much stuff that you don't know, and that you can save money or lose a lot of money in this real estate game, specifically just real estate. Bro. But then, of course, we're going to talk about insuring valuable possessions, insuring your watches, car insurance, all that type of stuff. But real estate alone is enough for probably an hour-long conversation. How to properly get the right insurance. There's a lot of people now that can't even get insurance when you live in California and Florida. Florida stopped insuring homes as far as on the hurricane flood side. California stopped insuring homes on the wildfire side, depending on where you live. So you buying a home for $10 million in California and it falls into the ocean, and it's like, good luck trying to figure it out. Like,
you got to pay attention to all that. And shout out to Tamika. She actually sent me and Daniela an email like, hey, the house is nearly complete. The insurance has to change now because when you were building it, it was one price. But now as we're getting closer, it's a different price. These are the things, like, you might miss an email that's going to cost you thousands. So like, you got to have all the information in front of you and pay attention to it.
But I say that to say that's the technical stuff. So going to EYL University, we extended that sale. If you didn't catch it, it's the same code. Market Mondays, one word, right? It's been extended. You already lost money by not actually going to choice options class last week. You can catch the replay. This week, we got the insurance, the whole thing, and just be part of the community, man. Like, the value that you're actually paying for, I'll probably make it back if you actually are dedicated in what you're actually doing.
And even if you wasn't even dedicated, like, I text y'all, shout out to everybody that was an earner. I text y'all Thursday after the class. I said, yo, cooked up. We did another one. By 10:30 on Friday, if you made the investment in some of those calls, you made the money back in 2 hours. Yeah. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add something special. I'm gonna do something really special for everybody now. I'm gonna throw in an additional call in there. I've been cooking up something, Ian. It's actually in our notes today.
Okay.
So I'm glad you talked about it. So if you've been following the series, we talked about the data center economy. We talked about the semiconductor economy. Our next iteration is going to be the energy economy. And it's funny that you put that in notes. So I'm gonna put another treat in there for everybody inside the community. Once y'all sign in, y'all gonna see it.
Code Market Monday.
Let's do it.
Check out.
And if we can be very honest, please stop asking like beginner questions. If you're not a beginner, if you've been here long enough, you know it works. Like, even with the top, well, why? Well, you said he's an enemy of the state. When you saying to buy Tesla at 212, bro, two things can be true at once. He can be a dictator and the company's a great value, great buy at 212. Like, stop all these bullshit ass questions just because. Please follow, because next time I go back to New York and I go to their house, por favor, Rashad, Troy, raise the price. What are we doing?
Please.
No, it's getting raised. That's a fact. 2025 prices is changing.
Yeah,
it's actually hurting the economy. It's actually hurting the economy
for real.
Yeah.
More is more. People say less is more is more.
That's a fact. It's negative stimulus. This is one thing that we didn't even talk about last time, but people have asked questions. ASML,
yes,
is a company that people have been asking about because it shot up and then it dropped pretty drastically. I think it dropped like 38%. So they're another one of these companies that have kind of a monopoly in their niche that they do.
Yeah.
But it's struggled in that space. It's one of these chip companies.
Yeah.
So
I did let me say it. I did a whole presentation in the class. 25 minutes on a company. Should we give it away here too? Let's give it a little bit away.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
Sneak preview.
All right. All right. So I mean, it breaks down to this, man. When we talk about NVIDIA, obviously incredible year, incredible couple of years. And we talk about one of the greatest companies that's ever been created and the path for the future when it comes to AI. Great. We know what it does, right? We're talking about GPUs. We're talking about AI. We're talking about the advancement of technology. Well, they don't manufacture their own chips. Well, that's why we talked about TSM, and we've been talking about TSM for over 5 years.
Yep.
And we saw last week the earnings was incredible. TSM manufactures chips for NVIDIA. So how does this work? This is like a lovely triangle, right? We got TSM that says, I'm going to design it. Oh, NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, pick one. They'll say, we'll design these chips. TSM, can you make them? Perfect. TSM manufactures the chips. They send them back to these companies. NVIDIA sends it out to the Metas of the world, the Apples of the world. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know about semiconductors, and specifically these GPUs. They run on a wafer which has a nanometer count on it. So there's a 7, there's a 5, there's a 3. NVIDIA, which is why it's great, right? Why it's faster, why it's more efficient. They run theirs on a 3 and a 5 nanometer, right? This is as simple as I can make it. In order for TSM to make that chip, they need a special machine called a EUV machine. EUV machines are made by only one company in the entire world. Guess who that company is?
ASML.
You guessed it.
Yep.
ASML is the only producer of the EUV machine, right? It's a lithography machine that actually makes the actual wafers that can have nanometers of that size. And so if you don't have the company that makes the machines for TSM cannot make the chips for NVIDIA. Yep. So you can see the supply chain. It only works if all these companies are working. So when we see pullbacks in ASML, we see pullbacks in TSM, ask yourself, do you believe in Broadcom? Do you believe in NVIDIA?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in AMD? Right? Do you believe in Qualcomm? Do you believe in Intel? Intel's not using the 7 nanometer, which
mistake. That's why they're dying. Day to day is around the corner too.
These are the technical things we're talking about inside of these classes, the technicalities of it. So if you don't have the machinery to make the chips that need to be manufactured, this company doesn't have it. NVIDIA, when we talk about its data centers, right? When all the money is going there because they need the chips to run it, right? Those chips are being produced. They're being manufactured by company B. Company B needs company A to make the machine so they can do it. The only issue is how fast can they make these machines?
Yeah.
Because they're pricey, right? They're 100, and no exaggeration, the machines are $150 million to produce one machine. How fast can they make the machines so that TSM can buy them, so that they can make the chips for pretty much the world? We talked about it. 95% pretty much of these AI and GPU and CPU chips are coming from this manufacturer. What's important is, when we talked about geopolitical things, yes, Taiwan Semi Hub is in Taiwan. But if you looked, and I'm glad we reported it too, Arizona, we're building a plant. TSM is putting a foundry in Arizona. They said that the supply is already up 4% than what they're already doing in Taiwan. That's encouraging. Right now, we don't have to rely on the import of these semis. We can do it right here at home, which is part of the CHIPS Act, which how it ties into a political party. That was a little synopsis in a 5-minute display.
Also, too, please write this down. Any high growth tech stock, setting the price for 25% from the top as your entry where to buy. Like once ASML took off, like a lot of people would chase ASML, NVIDIA at an incredible high. What's the other one that took off that everybody thought was going past NVIDIA?
Super Micro.
Yeah, Super Micro. Shout out to them. Everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't call this one." I'm like, "You didn't call that 40% fucking drop either. Set it at -25, and if you were to invest fast, I told you on stage, the levels were to buy with fib. So if you please go check that out. But set your first price to buy at -25%.
Yeah, my number was -15 to 20. So I'll keep it at the 20. Literally, we showed this in the presentation last week on Market Mondays. Those are the metrics. Look at the asset
and
decline.
A good thing to do is to utilize like ChatGPT. So just asking ChatGPT, why does ASML have a monopoly? So the answer that ChatGPT gives is ASML holds a near monopoly in the semiconductor industry because it's the only company that produces advanced, extreme ultraviolet EUV lithium machines essential for manufacturing cutting-edge microchips. These machines are complex and require advanced optics and technologies that competitors cannot easily replicate, making ASML the sole supplier for tech giants like TSM, Intel, and Samsung. This exclusively allows ASML to dominate the market for high-end chip production, giving it significant control over a critical part of the semiconductor supply chain.
So that means that I was accurate and that ChatGPT is accurate. We're saying the same thing. And the key is the word only. When you see only, that should tell you something. Now, somebody might ask, and this is a great question. This was asked. Hey, what if another competitor decides that they're going to try to make that machine?
Mistake. It's too fucking late.
Bro, did you hear the cost of one? $150 million to produce one.
And no one likes a knockoff. So if they do it, and let's say they find the capital or build the capital to be able to produce these machines, you still have to go find a client to sell them to.
How long is it going to take them to produce it? Even if they wanted to, how long would it take?
36 months. And I'll say this, get in on the chip wave before quantum becomes a big thing. Some of you are going to wait too long to get in on this chip wave, which the players have already been determined who are going to win, and then quantum is going to come in and the whole landscape is going to shift. So please be mindful. Put it in chat. Investing is not hard. We tell you what to do. We're giving you the cheat code for the test in real time every week. Please just buy, because you never know. We may talk about something. We may just. I can't wait till we fake a controversy where we have to quit and act like we got canceled.
Cancel myself.
Well, why y'all in Portofino all the time? Controversy.
Canceled myself.
What do I know?
What do I know?
Mm-hmm.
What do I know? All right. Let's go here. Let's talk about SPLG. Is that okay to invest in?
Yes. I know Vanguard shot to BlackRock because y'all be acting like Big U when y'all see me. So shot to BlackRock. I love y'all. But SPLG is a good one to invest in. Do I still like Vanguard more? Yes, I do. But if you need a more affordable ETF to invest in, it's cheaper. Currently at $68. So from a price consideration, I would look to invest there. I ran into a couple people at the Rockets game who were asking me about that. Vanguard is incredibly expensive. You still have the same stocks in the S&P 500. Are there risks associated with them not being the number 1 or 2 leader in the ETF space? Yes. But if you're looking just on price alone and you're looking to buy several hundred shares worth, you can start to build a position there. So SPLG is okay to buy for the long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ethereum. What's the deal with Ethereum?
Shoddy.
Let's talk about it for a little bit, man.
Why hasn't it moved? Can I give the honest answer? Or are they gonna kill me like they did on Math?
I mean, we can.
What's the honest answer?
We could just say, it's consolidating.
The honest answer is because BlackRock hasn't invested into it. So I told everybody in 2021, I thought that we wanted autonomy from the big banks and all this other shit. And everyone's like, you don't know what you're talking about, while I'm talking to the banks. Okay, cool. It hasn't moved because the banks saw that they can take over. And that's why some of the other cryptos are incredibly important that are truly decentralized. But either Vanguard or BlackRock is going to make a move in the next 2 years on Ethereum, and then that'll be that, and they'll start to move, and then
But BlackRock has invested.
They haven't put a bunch of the same capital into it as they have Bitcoin. They put their flag in the moon, right, for sure, okay. But they haven't pushed that product enough yet, if you will.
So they did, and for those who might be like, what are they talking? So they have an ETF. So the ETF is ETHA, which allows you to invest in Ethereum token through a brokerage account.
Yeah, but on the client side, they haven't pushed it.
Yeah, but they have, right. You hear about the Bitcoin one, obviously more, it's more dominant, but they have though. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, keep going.
So that's it. I've learned from the little crypto community. Rashad, what are your thoughts? Y'all straight me up, and even when I'm right, y'all criticize. You don't know it. You're not a maxi, and you're a shill for the government. All right, I hear you.
Government shill.
You want something? You want to take? I got something.
You gonna say it 3 times like it's true? I ain't with it.
That's Dr. Umar. That's Dr. Umar strategy. A government shill.
Repeat it.
A government shill.
Mm-hmm. Force inside the content. I feel you.
You gotta say it 3 times.
Yeah,
like Candyman.
You want me to go? So that was the encouraging part. That the fact that BlackRock has invested in it. Like I said, if you look at it, if we treat it like we're looking at an equity and we're looking at a chart from a technical analysis standpoint, this does look like consolidation. The problem is it's tough to quantify what would be the catalyst. That's a tough part inside of crypto. We never know what the catalyst is.
If one person gets in office in about a week and some change,
it could be a catalyst, or maybe it's not. When we talked about Ethereum, I mean, when you talk about the king of the hill in terms of DeFi, like what is being built on what, Ethereum is still the place. Some of its competitors have caught up.
Absolutely,
they're still the king. Solana comes to mind. USD comes. So the competitors are starting to creep up. They're still dominant. I wrote this in my notes. It was interesting. Over 300,000 Ethereum was withdrawn from exchanges last week. On nearly $1 billion, which is never a good sign when you're talking the crypto space. So something's happening.
Yeah,
we don't hear from the founder as much as we used to.
Wonder why,
which is interesting. But the fact that BlackRock is invested is like, okay, long term, we know it's not going anywhere. Or else their analysis and their analysts have done the research for us in a sense, where they're saying, all right, this is something that we believe in. But yeah, it's consolidation. That would be, if I had to figure out one word, what's going on with Ethereum, consolidation is happening. The catalyst, undetermined.
And Bitcoin is just a better investment across the board.
Yeah, the Bitcoin, that ratio has spread now too.
Dramatically.
Where it was like, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance ratio to Ethereum, the gap, I think it's wider than it's ever, maybe since 2020.
Yeah. It's getting pretty wide.
Yeah.
And should Bitcoin be a core investment?
You gotta pause there.
Why would I say?
That's all right, but they heard it, but it's all right. Keep going.
My brain was scrambled because Rashad called me a government shield 3 times. Like, damn. And they got my dog to turn on me. There's been a lot of that this week. Hold it down. Your boy.
Throw water on them. Nah, throw water on
them. Hey, did you like to do in Mexico? Right, go right in that ocean.
All time high.
Crazy.
Walk straight at the end.
All time high, man.
Looking like Kaiser Sose.
For real. Insane. But what I know. But shout out to Vitalik. President Putin, with all your illustrious leadership, can you allow that boy to talk sometime soon and let people know what's going on with Ethereum?
Ethereum.
It's
Bitcoin is better.
That ether. That make your soul burn
slow. Yep.
So shout out to Nas, man. Okay, let's talk about this. MSTR.
Good segue.
It went up over $20 today. How far can it go?
Maybe in 4 or 5 years, I can see it getting to maybe 480 to like 510. But back to my original, I thought we wanted decentralization. So I love Michael dearly. But I thought the purpose, and I keep saying Michael is the new Cathie Wood. So as long as he plays ball and doesn't upset the power structure, he'll be fine. If he doesn't, at some point they'll tear his firm apart the way that they did hers. But Michael's a great investor, love him dearly. I do love that he believes in the product that he's investing in, but I do have him getting to 4 or 5 years, getting to the $500 range. And it's a good way to play Bitcoin if you don't want to buy Bitcoin directly because of the price of it. So to play it as if like it's an ETF, MicroStrategy is a good way to lever or leg into that position for sure.
Yeah. If anybody's asking right now, should they buy?
Not right now.
No, I want you to rewind about 10 minutes ago when we said take the depreciation at 25 to 25%, 25%, and remember that. But
for right now.
Yeah, just be disciplined, right? Yes. Like we just told you that, and you see that it's hit. Is it its all-time high? Let me see. Let me check here. Yeah, it's at its all-time high at 259. It's sitting at 255. Easy math tells you that's not a negative 20% depreciation. That's so it can't be 25. You got to sit tight. I want you to watch its correlation as the price of gold appreciates. I want you to watch its correlation as we look at interest rates decrease right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start to hear words of recession and inflation, look at the correlation between that, Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy. There are gems inside of there.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of inflation, Paul Tudor Jones said last week, all roads lead to inflation. And let's be real, cost of everything going up. I don't know if housing prices, shout to MG, he says this all the time. I don't know if housing prices will ever come back down, car prices, cost of tech, especially in a world where they want us to rent everything from a few major corporations. I know I sound like Bernie Sanders, but it's the truth. Inflation, you have to invest in gold, Bitcoin, ETFs, indexes, top crypto to offset the inflation that is being given to the consumer. So please be careful. But yeah, wait for those 25% drops. If you get a 50% drop, it can load up. Even better. Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think of the current no, well, let's save that.
No. Come on, I'm ready.
Well, I was going to say the current political climate, because we are, guys, as a heads up, next Market Mondays, we will be doing a pre-election show. We're going to be bringing some Republicans on, some Democrats on. We're going to do a debate style. It's going to be very entertaining, very educational, because that's the one day before the presidential election. So, it's a lot going on right now. So what do you feel about the current climate as far as business and just social aspects when it comes to politics?
I cannot wait for election season to be over. I see why 50 on stage and 50. Sorry for not listening. I won't be talking about religion or politics ever again. I'm good. But a very tense political climate. I'm interested to see who's going to win. I have my thoughts. I'll share them before. And if I'm wrong, Troy, I will come on next Tuesday and say, got it wrong. Didn't know. Crystal ball was broken. So, but a very tense. But if you go to the core, people was even mad when I said both parties don't care about you. And I'm like, do you actually believe that the parties, why don't they reach out? Like, have you guys during off political season see a lot of candidates in your neighborhood actually giving back without social media? Okay, cool. So I won't speak about it again, but it's a very tense climate. And I think the underlying feeling that most Americans have is that the gap wealth-wise is getting too wide and the opportunities are decreasing.
Well, what do you feel about the futures contract? Tying this in on the investing side. And we will have the CEO of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev, shortly.
Thank you for segueing me out too, my boy. I appreciate you.
Hit the like button and share. So they opened up Robinhood. So it was actually a lawsuit that was filed, and they won a lawsuit, a couple firms. And Robinhood, as of today, opened up futures trading on the presidential election. First, major U.S. brokerage firm to actually do that.
Yep.
And posted about that today, and it got a lot of
insight,
commentary. People were a lot of people were kind of disturbed, and people was kind of amused, and a variety of different things. And if you're interested in actually doing it, how you do that, you access it through Robinhood's Forecast X platform, trader platform.
Yep.
So
those futures.
How do you feel about futures trading on presidential elections?
I'm excited. You can always invest and trade on other things. So to be able, you've been able to do this on the institutional side, and I'm not just caping for Robinhood or for Vlad. I do like them both, but institutions have been able to do this on the future side forever. So as a retail futures trader, where I made my bones, there's probably 400 or 500 products that we can't trade. You can trade rain patterns in North Dakota on a futures market if you're an institution. Can as a retail trader. So I think there's a lot of talk about if they democratized investing. I think they definitely did. I'm happy to see this here, but I think it will give you an insight on who's going to win, because there's real money there, unlike some of those prop or bet markets where they could be skewed a little bit. You have a lot of professionals and institutions that are betting in advance. So yeah, I think it's a cleaner way to see who is going to win outside of the polling data that we have.
So you're saying follow the money?
Always follow the money.
You brought up a great point about democratizing finance. That's a game changer, right? When we heard it off camera was like, "Oh, that's
I was blown away." Yep.
Yeah, it's a game changer. But I mean, even when we spoke to him, 24-hour trading was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
When we last spoke to him in the spring, it was 100 equities. Now he's over 1,000. Now you look at what's happening on Wall Street. They
caused that change.
New York Stock Exchange is saying 22-hour trading.
Hours. Yep.
This is revolutionary. This is the power of technology.
It comes from crypto, and it's a trickle down effect from crypto, and it does speak to the gamification of investing. We can't. There's no way around that. It's mirroring more and more of Vegas as far as prop betting, how Vegas is set up, online betting, sports betting, casino betting, where it's 24 hours a day. There's prop betting, and investing is looking very similar to that now. And it is dangerous for people that treat it like it's Vegas, right? Because now you're gonna have 24-hour access. You can trade anything in the world, including the presidential election, right? You can leverage your accounts. You can do a variety of different things. So the house always wins. You know that.
Yeah, that's facts. I want to pin that because that was a question that I was seeing a lot. Who benefits more from? And I'm wondering why they didn't just do 24-hour trading. They did 22, but I got to read into that. But
legislative ruling.
Who benefits more from? I mean, pretty much all day trading. Is it the retail investor or is it institutional side?
The brokerages,
right? So the house always wins.
Well, the brokerage was trading 24 hours a day anyway. That's why they have after-hours trading. So,
right.
I mean,
but the volume isn't as high. So for a lot of those brokerage businesses, it was almost like a loss leader for some, not all, for some of them.
But if you let
more volume,
if you let retail investors in now, you were already doing it. But you let retail. How many people who are trading futures, who are trading options? Options are going to stop at 4:30 anyway. But we're trading equities. Actually, make trades that appreciate.
Yeah, the thing. Well, here's a good lesson. You should even on the equity side. I gave the gem about buying your long-term positions on the hour chart. You should be buying all of your stocks usually at end of day anyway to get more gain. Futures traded 22 or 24 hours depending on what you traded anyway. And I do agree with the gamification, but people also asked for this after Robinhood did it. So it's a double-edged sword. Like brokerages are going to benefit from it. Institutions are always going to win because it's a framework and system that they made. But I will say the trade times to trade is still going to be the American Open, the London Open, and the Asian session. That's not. I don't give a damn if they give you 48-hour trading. Like the pockets where the real money comes in are going to be at the American Open, the London Open, and the Asian Open. You may get some price disparity in a non-prime time, but a lot of traders are going to end up losing eventually, like if you don't have discipline. And if you just trade.
Do you see that volume momentum hedging towards the 4 to 5 o'clock hour now? When you haven't, like even like a week like we're about to have, right? Where people are able to trade on the future guidance of a Microsoft, of an Amazon, of an Apple, right? Apple usually reports at 4:25 every quarter. When they report it at the end of their quarters, that 4:25 is like, oh, we can watch this thing. All right, it pulled back. Oh, it's appreciating. We can catch it on the way up, right? You think the volume shift will now go from that?
I think for a little bit. Yeah. I think for maybe a couple of months, but I think it like from the boom that we saw in 2020 and 2021, the volume went away. This is the other reason why they're making it 22 hours. A lot of that volume that they got used to getting all that the points on that spread. It went away when people start to lose. So I think people will trade a lot more often, but we will get back to a median or mean average. So follow the rules. No matter what they put in front of you or offer you, it is up to you to stay disciplined, to not deviate from your plan. That's in life. That's in business. Listen, if they pass in the 2C around, you got to say no. So if they tell you take trades at 8:30 at night, there's no institutional volume at 8. We've been to the exchange many times. This is dead at 11 a.m. Excuse me. So you think at 8:45 after you have dinner and put the kids to bed? Nope. Wait till London.
That's a fact. Yeah. And we're gonna talk with Vlad about that. So we're gonna talk because that's why we actually went to Robinhood conference, because they laid out a whole bunch of different things for for traders. They've changed their platform as far as the 24-hour trading, the presidential stuff, the option. They have a whole different thing that they laid out. But if you're not innovating, you're dying. You know that
again. And also, once again, look at Vegas. I'm out here right now. Shout out to the Raiders, but look at, once again, I keep saying everybody's your competition. So if all the prop bets go to the institutions and trading, I'm riding around. I'm like, Vegas is casino, commercial real estate, shambles right now. I would not want to be building a stadium right now.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But I do want to talk about I do want to talk about Africa, because we did make some news as far as appreciate it. So I think that's an important business lesson in investing, and that kind of ties in with the international business play. So first, I want to say how this came about, because there's a lesson in it. And you know, a lot of time people will say, like, don't say anything until you actually have done it, because you're gonna end up, you know,
sabotaging it.
You've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
There's some level of truth to that, I guess. It's nuanced conversation, but it is vitally important to express your ideas to people that can help you, because a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And sometimes the more you talk about things, you create energy. Power's in the tongue. We'll talk about it on Wednesday as well. Unfortunately, you know, with Dirk, that situation, you know, he said some things and that actually looks like it came true, what he actually said, right? So you can speak positivity into your life, or you can speak negativity into your life. We saw it with Big, we saw it with Pac, life after death, ready to die. Like, you know, you keep speaking these things, and, you know, unfortunately, eventually it happens, right? So I say that to say, this over a year ago, right? This idea of, like, you know, people go to Ghana and they go for, like, you know, they party, right? And it's turned into like a festival almost every December, which is great. It's dope. But it's like, okay, how sustainable is that, like, long term, right? And there are some people that have done like different development, real estate, like homes and stuff like that. But I was thinking, like, what if there was actually like a real community for people from the diaspora to come to actually live, if they want to, full time, or just have a home there, right? But now you've actually created a community where you actually are helping the ecosystem, because now you're actually, you know, after December is over, you're there, you're buying groceries, you're doing, if you're not there, you're renting it out, Airbnb. You know, you're just adding more to it, as opposed to just coming and just getting drunk for 6 days and just going home, right? I don't think that that's the vision, what they said, like they wanted people to come back to Africa. Like, that wasn't the idea, right? So it's just like, yo, this just be just really dope if there was like a place for people to come back to, and people from America mixed with people from local people as well. So you have the amenities of what you would be used to living like in America, right? But you still get the cultural experience of living in Ghana. So he spoke to a variety of different people, and then I was just telling everybody about this. So one person I told about this actually was in a position to help, and it's probably the least person that you would expect from a business standpoint. But that's why you never know.
Judge your book by cover.
Shaka Bar, shout out to him. Somebody who, if you follow him, like you said, I don't think anybody looks at Shaka Bar as like he's the business person, right? He's an activist. He's an activist. He is an entrepreneur, but I'm just saying, like, he's an activist. That's what his main thing is fighting for, you know, people that are disenfranchised, people in Africa, people all around the world, right? That's his thing. He's an activist. But I was telling him about this idea. So it just so happened that he knew some guys, shout out to Kwame Alvin, who was in Ghana, who actually had a similar vision, but they already had the infrastructure in place. So when we went out there, we linked with them in person, and they took us around, and they already had like the land. They already had the construction. These guys are like doing their thing heavy in real estate, like Polo Beach Club, like they beachfront, like they really
at the highest level.
Now they got it, like they got it on lock out there, crazy. So we link with them, and then it's like, yo, yeah, they want to bring the diasporans. That's why, like, I don't really get caught up in narratives. A lot of times, people, you got to be careful with people here. Like, yo, the Africans, they don't really care about us anyway. It's like, I mean, of course, there's always a person that, or people, like, but you can't lump a whole group of people in. These people is extremely successful. They got a lot of money, right? And they like they want to bridge the gap between America, North America, in Ghana. We in America, and we want to bridge the gap. Like some people are like, well, we never came from Africa. We Indians. Okay, I don't really. That's not important to me. If you want to go to Africa, you can go. It's like if you want to go to Dubai, you don't got to be from Dubai to go to Dubai. You don't have to be from Mexico. You don't got to be from Mexico. You don't got to be from Thailand to go there. It's like, I don't really get caught up in arguing. Everybody that's arguing is broke.
Say it again. Hold on. True. Say it.
I'm not arguing. I'm just blocking you. My thing this year, I'm not arguing with you. I'm blocking you. They're like, yo, we didn't come from Africa. We came from the Cherokee tribe. I'm
Never.
not. I don't care. I don't care.
But if there was a Pangea and then it split,
I don't care. I really don't care.
What are you talking about?
If you don't want to go, then don't go. I'm not tripping off of it. But like I said, those people are broke. Never argue with a broke man because it's not in the game
at all. It's actually more to lose.
Double entendre.
It's more
double entendre.
That was.
It's nothing in the game. We're arguing with somebody that's broke. So long story short,
of course.
Super
political. It's political season for us too.
Super respectfully. So just like, yo, that was just super dope. And then it's like, we just going back and forth for over a year. And then, figuring out like, best ways to go about it as far as on the legal side to make sure people are secure, and then funding and how you're going to do funding for people that live in America if they're buying property in Ghana. Very complex situation, but we was able to figure it out. 300 acres. And we just announced it, Sambor City, which actually means return. So in the local dialect. So it's like one of these things where it's a great networking opportunity to kind of talk to different people and meet different people. That's vitally important. But also I think that it is, I'm not doing the monologue yet, but I also think that it's important to just always just keep your eyes open and be aware that, like, the world is bigger than America. And it's like, y'all keep tripping about this election. It might be time to get away. You never know.
I'm telling them, yep.
And
also too,
get away.
With a lot of criticism comes a lot of elevation.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all would just be quiet in that little Twitter sphere,
that's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact.
But there's also a part of it that's very freeing and fulfilling. Mm-hmm. It's like we can fight for things here, right? Or try to persuade people of things here, or we can go to places where we're welcome with open arms, right? And initiative, innovation, education is like, we actually need the things you provide, right? Infrastructures, right? Your expertise in some of these places, how can we work together? Rather than saying like, I got to find somebody or fight somebody, or I got to sign like all these rules and regulations.
You got to go to Congress.
They don't exist. Yeah. They exist. But when people are willing to work with you, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah. And the play on this is like, we'll talk about this later on, probably have an episode, but this is not like you have to fully live in Ghana. This is not a charity play. This is a great investment. So this is an opportunity, like you buying a 4-bedroom home for $300,000. Let's say, like, Ghana's real estate has gone up crazy over the last 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Appreciation standpoint, a place to actually go if you want to, get away a couple times a year. The Airbnb opportunities in December alone, crazy. I know people, they said that they've made their whole mortgage yearly
back. Yep.
in 1 month, in a couple of weeks, just in December. Because people go to December, there's not enough hotels. There's like 1 million people that come in with like 2 hotels.
And who owns them?
The vultures.
The Dutch.
So it's like this, so this is a business opportunity first and foremost. But I do want, now we can go to the monologue because I do have something to say about.
Hold on. Let me. He calling the ISO. That was the ISO. That was the
okay.
ISO.
This is something that I noticed. So I do want to actually say something. So this goes to Africa. So we announced this project and we announced it, obviously we're doing it in Ghana, we're doing it in Africa. And I noticed something, right? And this is a disturbing trend. So when you do something like we're doing a real estate project, 300 acres, it's been announced, the whole thing, right? And, a lot of people are positive, most people are positive, but there's a small segment of the population that is like, well, how are you going to, house the locals? Is this going to displace locals? Obviously, it's vacant land, right? But they're very concerned about the poor citizens of Ghana. And then there's another one that is overly concerned about like not doing something in America. Like, how are you going to do something in Ghana? You're not doing something in America. They're looking at it like we're doing like this is a
disservice
charity thing, right?
Yeah.
But this actually goes to when you close your eyes and you see anything good, you associate that with white people, Santa Claus, whatever, right? You don't look at a black person or black people as any level of success, thriving, whatever. You only look at black people as they need desperate help, they're fucked up, and they're all charity cases, because I've never heard any real estate developer that was doing a project in Dubai, that was doing a project in London, in Paris, in New York City. I never heard these concerns. There's poor people all over the world. You've been to the other parts of Paris, you know that they got slums in Paris, right?
Absolutely.
That overly concern is because you never looked at any part of Africa like these people actually do have money on their own. Like, we went to Ghana, they buying their properties in cash. Their credit system is completely different. They don't go into debt like how we go into debt. They get a car, they buy the car in cash. Is there poverty in Ghana? Of course. There's poverty in every country in the world, including this one. But psychologically, when you close your eyes, you still look at the Africans as the pot-belly person that has flies on their face that you saw in 1990. But that's how you look at yourself also. That's one of the biggest reasons why we are in the situation that we're in, even in America, is white supremacy is bigger than just white people thinking black people are inferior. Black people, 9 times out of 10, look at themselves as inferior, even if that they don't vocally say that. Their mindset has been trained to think poverty. Anything attracted with black is poverty or charity. They never look at anything that's attached to black as this is just good business. This is entrepreneurship. This is luxury. This is at the highest level. Those adjectives are not equated with black. Those adjectives are equated with Asian, with Arab, with white. When we equate black, we equate struggle, poverty, charity, all of these things that we equate ourselves. And that's a dangerous mindset, because that's a limiting mindset. That's a limiting mindset. And like I said, you never see that in any part of the world. But as soon as a black entrepreneur does anything, only thing that you get is, why didn't you do this? How did you do this? How is this going to affect that? How is this? 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 You've never even been. You're not even fully educated to even speak properly, right? So I just think that that's something that's really dangerous. And it's something that, like I said, is holding us back. We could talk about Donald Trump. We could talk about Harris. We could talk about the Democrats. We could talk about the Republicans. I'm going to be honest with you. None of that's going to matter if you continuously look at yourself and somebody that looks like you as inferior and as somebody that does not deserve to be rich or doesn't deserve to be wealthy.
Well played there. You deserve to be rich.
You do.
And wealthy.
And wealthy.
You do.
Well said.
And I'll say this too. Please stop calling us grifters. I'll say this. No, we're just better business people than you.
You don't even know what the word. Half of y'all got embarrassed in the class when the teacher used to make you read, right? The words that you're reciting, you don't even know. When I say reciting, is because you just heard it. You can't even spell entrepreneur, and you are criticizing real business, right? Like, you don't know what you're actually saying. You've heard it. You're reciting it, right? Like, a lot of people still read on a 3rd grade level. This is a fact. So what I'm saying is that there's levels to education, right? Like, before you jump out the window and start to mingle in things that you don't fully understand, you got to educate yourself first, so you're actually even prepared to go out in the world and make money. Because for you it's entertainment, but it's like, now we really did it from nothing. So this is our blueprint. You saw it happen. What did you do? What have you done with your life? Right? Like, you've done nothing, given same opportunities and same span. So you can make jokes about it online or criticize, but at the end of the day, the ship's only going to keep going up. So you're just going to keep seeing it going up, up and up. And like I said, I mean, this is happening in real time. It's happening right in front of you. You can't copy the blueprint. You got to learn this as you go. Like if you're not able to absorb the information in real time and actually implement it and be inspired and actually execute in real time, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's like this is probably the only time in history where you're going to actually see the blueprint. Like,
and it's given to you in real time and you're able to be a part of it.
Unique.
Exactly.
Unique.
And it's like you taking that and you not utilizing that for your own personal good. Like, forget us. This is about you. You're not utilizing that for your own personal good. You'd rather just criticize. You're stupid for doing that.
Respectfully.
Well, however you want to take it, because you're not intelligent. If you're doing that, you're definitely not intelligent. Like, imagine if you got to see Bob Johnson build BET. You didn't see that happen. You was just watching Comic View, and then before you know it, he sold it for $1 billion, and it was like, oh shit, who's Bob Johnson? I never even knew. Robert Smith. You didn't know Robert Smith until he actually paid off. He was already up $4 billion, paid off Morehouse. Then that's when y'all heard about him. Like, oh shit, Robert Smith wasn't. Y'all wasn't inside Don Peebles' playbook. Y'all didn't even know who Don Peebles was until we interviewed him. I'm just being honest with you. He was already up $700 million when we interviewed him. That's the first time you heard about him.
And there's a reason why a lot of us who get to that level will do that. It's the negative return in talking. Like, dude was like, yo, y'all did Market Mondays is the way to grift the community. I'm like, I helped 500,000 people for free.
Who are these people?
What are you talking about, bro? Like, if I would have just got 2 and 20 off everybody, I'd probably have another $80 million. Like, well, okay. But this is what I'll do. I'll go grift elsewhere.
And that's why it's like y'all want it to fail so bad that it's distracting you from paying attention. Like, oh, it's falling off, it's falling. How we got 300 acres? You talking about falling off? Like, you're worrying about the wrong thing.
Shotty, let's talk.
You're worrying about the wrong thing, and it's blindfolding you from actually you reaching your potential. Because like you praying for you doing rain dances for failure for so much. Oh, InvestFest numbers was down. Have you ever seen that many people ever? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you couldn't get 100 people in a free coffee shop, right? We're talking about 20,000 people, and you saying, well, it didn't look the same from an aerial view. You fucking up your life by being a hater. And I'm telling you, like, when you're 60 years old, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret being a hater at 60, because there's only one pathway forward. And it's not hating. It's paying attention to the blueprint. You don't gotta like somebody to pay attention to the blueprint. There's a lot of Elon Musk is not my favorite person in the world. I'm not gonna hate on with the fact that the bro's a genius. He's the shit that he's been able to.
Two things can be true, right?
Yo, I'd be stupid to be like, yo, like, nah, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna figure out what, you know, like, yo, it's real blueprints that's being provided. If you can't figure that out, then you're not gonna make it. Like, that's we gotta start being real too. Everybody not gonna be successful. Everybody's not going to be successful. Like, and like, even Wallow said something that was real. He's like, life is like a game, right? It's the reason why in a game, basketball game, there's 24 people that's on the court and there's 20,000 people in the stand. Everybody not meant to be on the court. Yeah. These people in the stands, they pay money to make LeBron a billionaire.
Facts. That's
their enjoyment. They paying money that they don't have to make LeBron a billionaire. We're giving you the opportunity, but everybody not going to be on the court. Everybody don't deserve to be on the court. Everybody not going to make it. Now, you can make a decision to actually make it or not. But if you don't make it, there's going to be no sympathy. There's going to be no sympathy because you can't say that you wasn't provided the information. How much you need? We're going to keep remixing this EYL episodes, but LeBron, at this point, honestly, we can never do the show again. This shit
and be good.
I mean, you got enough information, bro. You got archives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could just stop right now and it's like, okay, we're going to do another episode on trucking part 3. Okay, credit part 4. We'll do that. We'll do the business credit. But it's like, bro, we done gave you enough game.
Next should be a half decade in Market Mondays. What else do y'all need? To the content creators, quit talking about if you fell off. I've never seen us elevate. Be quiet. And speaking of NBA, Ja Morant, thank you for signing my baby's jersey. I appreciate that.
That was fine.
Y'all keep talking about the wrong shit. Okay, I'm not.
Two choices, man. It's two choices. You
rise or fall.
You can win with us or watch us win.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. We go on a world tour. We on Market Mondays world tour, bro. We going to different continents. We doing shows and selling out shows in London, and we doing Ghana, and we doing 2 back-to-back shows in
Toronto.
What about? This is not even something that was even a imagination.
Fathomable.
Like, we've broken the realm of imagination. That's different. When when you do something that nobody has even imagined, I told Steve Stout about the idea of InvestFest 4 years ago. He looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like he couldn't even.
A lot of people did who
I was on Tootsie. He couldn't even imagine. Didn't even make sense to him. So what I'm saying is that we break in the realm of imagination. It's one thing to do things that's hard to do. It's another thing to do things that are unimaginable. Consistently, we've done things that's unimaginable. Like, how can you compare? There's no comparison, bro. Like, there's never can be in a comparison when you talking about people that have consistently done unimaginable things for 5 years.
Yeah. Like to walk around in the arena and be known from investing. If I told you this was my blueprint 7 years ago, you'd be like, "Oh, you fucking crazy." Skate to where the puck is going to be. That's Gretzky's quote, right? Also, too, in 2025, I promise you, we still going to do blackout, but me and Shotty going to stop telling you what we think. We're going to do just like hey, we're going to do like everybody else and be quiet. Even Elon be like, okay, he going to get y'all with a little autonomous. He hasn't told you a fucking plan for Neuralink in the last 9 months.
Facts.
Life is easier that way. It's so much easier.
So, Troy, you always been a be quiet. Don't let them know. Yep.
Shout out to the family. We talk to the family. Like I said, man, much success to you, even if you wish us the opposite. It's not stopping anything we doing. It really ain't. It really not stop. Honestly, and y'all know it on a personal level. Like y'all saying these things is news to me because I've been
trying to bait you on. Never.
I don't even know these things have happened. It just don't even enter my matrix. Like I'm so focused on like, yo, we still got some barriers that like we gotta go break. We had an interview the other day, right? Young lady was just like, yo, do y'all even know what y'all doing out here? We just be doing it. Like she's like, do y'all even like seriously? Like I would think like Secret Service is needed for y'all because what y'all doing is liberating and freeing people. That's dangerous. Yeah, and we just out here just like.
But shout to Vanguard and BlackRock who keep us protected. I love it.
But no, when you look back at it, like when you're running the race, you're not really looking in the rear view like to see the impact. But sometimes people will remind you of it, and the people who have. We can call them naysayers or whatever you want to call them haters, bro. It ain't really stopping.
No, that's the research department though. Because even in that, when you're saying
the research and development department,
yes, even got a job. We should find a way to get back to the locals. Okay, I hear you. I hear the thought and the worry and concern. Why don't we do anything here in the States? This is the part of Rashad y'all don't know. He already called Don Peebles. Okay, well, can we make it? Let's take Marcy.
No. Here's the thing. Here's what it's called. Just sit tight.
No, it's not. Here's the thing. Here people are like, yo, how y'all gonna build in Africa before you did something in America? No, this is the thing.
See,
we've already changed the trajectory of a generation in America.
In America, big facts.
A house, bro. We got black people to invest at the highest levels possible in the last 7 years. This is documented. You talking about why we didn't build a sports facility and like what do you building a house in America? We changed the trajectory of black people in America. At some point in time, you gotta be thankful and you gotta be grateful. That's a major key because it's like, okay, well, what happens when we're not here?
Sit tight.
We can sit tight. I'm fine with us just recording. I said it 3 years ago for just earners and pandas. I'm cool.
Sit tight. Stay tuned.
JoinRedPanda.com.
For real.
HiddenInvest.com.
Call it a day.
That's a fact.
What do I know? But then Troy gonna call somebody in LA. Hey, Adam's studio for sale. Adam, I love you. But hey, and even with that, if y'all criticize too much, I'm gonna go buy up all your little favorite creators and Elon play. Even in the Great Whites, he's showing you in real time how not to get caught up in the monopoly. Ooh, boy.
They running monopolies all over the place. Y'all worried about the wrong thing.
Part of my rant is needed. I haven't done it in a while.
It's been a while. 2025, we're done talking now. I'm so healed and so loving right now.
Healed.
Yep. I'm gonna do one big grand. Hey, whenever y'all want to wrap it up, I'm gonna do one big grand cash giveaway on here.
Too much energy in here.
Nah, y'all make me sick with this shit to my stomach, man. Yo, the whole we came from Marcus Garvey was a sellout. Like somebody said that? A bunch of there's a whole
that's crazy as hell.
Whole conspiracy theory online. There's a conspiracy theory on that.
Wow.
But
that Garvey was a sellout. I never heard that one.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Why he sell out?
Because he was sent to he's not American. So he
tell him what he is.
Jamaican. He was sent to America to break up foundational Black American unity and all of that. But man,
on Blackout, we'll talk about the cost that it has on a person that's trying to be positive or promote freedom.
That's a fact. But y'all foundational Black people, I'm with that. But none of y'all can talk to me. Both my parents from America, so I'm actually qualified to speak on this. I'm qualified to speak on this. Don't talk to me, bro. Like, I'm with that. I'm with the whole entire movement. But y'all losing me when it's like, listen, I'm good anywhere in the world. I'm not confined to the United States of America. So you telling me like I can't leave America or I can't do nothing else in America? You haven't done anything in America. But we've doing a lot of stuff in America. But better believe it's gonna come in time when I'm out of America.
Yeah.
With no apology. With no apology, I'm gonna be out of the United States of America.
If I could have been convinced Xander's mom to leave, ooh boy.
And there's no apology. I don't care what y'all say. And that could be UAE. It's gonna be Ghana. It's gonna be Dubai. It's gonna be London. It's gonna be like
what Kevin Hart do to
I mean, after we just
it's gonna be a time when I'm out of this place.
Thanks.
Yep.
Breaking news.
But my heart will always be here.
And I fucked up.
Who is the booking agent for her?
Yo,
the singer?
Yes. Crazy.
That's the best.
Somebody gonna be saying that next Tuesday.
That's the best thing I saw.
Gary Payton, why you let him rub on your stomach like that? That's how my baby rub on my. What?
I'm telling you, dead wrong for that. You dead
crazy.
Wrong. You dead wrong for that. Before we bring Vlad on, Regeneron. We didn't talk about Regeneron yet, right?
Nah.
Regeneron. Is it a good time to buy Regeneron?
I would argue is not saying that it's not, but is Regeneron a top 20 or 30 stock? First and foremost, lesson of the day that we talked about.
No.
Okay,
we did our list and it wasn't even
nowhere near close.
It wasn't honorable mention,
right? So they may be a part of the super JV team despite of the price of the pharma space. I do like them, but that lesson of buying 25% from the high, cool. I don't like it at its current price. I needed to dip a little bit more. If the stock club prices to be out, I'll put the price in there. For those of you saying I'm gatekeeping, my dad was in construction, so I don't have an issue putting up a gate. So we're gonna be out of here soon. I ain't gonna lie. All that, and something I've learned too. When people like, you know, I'm a wrestling fan. When people turn on you, that's what you got to go heel and step away for a little bit, then come back.
Yeah, those not in the know Regeneron's in the biopharma industry
space. You know, not better than Lilly.
No, I mean
not better than Novo. Let it go. And
they're facing litigation from some of its competitors. You know what's interesting, man? You watch like ABC or NBC, one of these networks, and they always have these like pharma commercials in between segments.
Yeah,
and they're talking about COPD. Like these are the companies that create the drugs for them. Like literally, like if you look at Regeneron and you did like what they treat, like all those commercials that you're watching, and they make every illness seem like this the person running on the beach that's suffering from. I'm like, yo, bro, that has nothing, whatever. But like that's the space that Regeneron operates in. They're not top 1 or 2. I wouldn't even put them in the top 5
in their space. Nah. Even if you want to subsection it to biopharm, the price of the stock is amazing, but given the
stock is amazing, and it's up 2% for the year. But would you put it ahead of I mean, the obvious names, Lilly for sure, Pfizer.
No, for the stock to be at $9.23 and it's up $23 for the year, insane. No, and I like them. Shout to HQ, but biopharma is having some issues, and also too,
it's a tough space, man.
Tough space to get it being.
I stay out of. I one or like this is if you again going back to the rules of engagement. If we're investing, if we're looking at 1 and 2 in a sector, right? Like it's very obvious in some of these sectors. This is not 1 or 2.
Yeah,
you can keep it on a watch list. But yeah, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, and one day we'll do Dead or Alive. I'm really concerned about, even though I got this, what is this, blonde espresso? I'm really concerned about the viability and health of Starbucks. Another company that said they're not going to report guidance. That's
the new theme.
For those you don't know, that's the hide your phone play when you grow actually your phone. They ask you the financials, how you doing? Oh, I forgot. I don't know my bank account login. Behooves me. When I hear report guidance, I'm like, and then it's a battle between no one wants a casual dining experience. As soon as like Soho House got big, my first thought was, damn, this was supposed to be Starbucks, because originally they were the third environment to be away from work. And then you let them eat away. Then McDonald's, then Chipotle took away the quality. And then you became a sugar factory. And then here come all the GLP-1s. So you're fighting healthcare, people wanting to be in shape. You don't have a good customer experience. And once again, when you kick those black people out your fucking establishment, it was up. Black lives might not have mattered to you that day, but they do now.
I mean, the CEO change, we'll see. The CEO changes happen. The future guidance thing is always interesting because I don't know if it's to hide your phone, because they still have to show the numbers.
Not good.
To me, it's more like when somebody like, yo, where's this going? And like, nah, I'm not. I don't feel like telling you that.
Like if we go to dinner or something, and then I'll say I'm gonna get the bill, but when the bill come, I get up and leave. Oh, I gotta, research. You like, what the fuck up with you? This was.
But yeah, we're not here for that. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we'll segue into another milestone, right? Billionaire conversation with Vlad Tenev, CEO of Robinhood. We sat down with him at the Robinhood Trader Conference. Shout out to all the good folks at Robinhood in Miami, Florida. And he had a lot of great insight on the future direction of the company, amongst other things. So let's go to the conversation. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to a special segment of Market Monday.
Absolutely. On location. Yeah, absolutely.
So we are in Miami, Florida at the first ever Hood Summit.
Yes.
Presented by the good folks at Robinhood. Really an innovative idea to kind of bring traders together and talk about not just trading, but the whole community when it comes to investing in finance, and of course roll out new features to the illustrious Robinhood platform. So today we have our friend, CEO and Chairman Vlad Tenev, who's going to talk about everything that we just witnessed yesterday. So Vlad, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for being here in Miami.
For sure. Appreciate the invite. For people that may not have heard the news yet, if they are under a rock, you guys laid out a whole gambit of new products in your portfolio, right? So what was the motivation to kind of revamp things? And also, what was the motivation to put together this physical in-person experience?
I think we had a really great path that led us to this event. So first of all, Hood Summit, first biggest event we've ever done for active traders. And active traders are really the core of our business. I know you guys trade somewhat actively, futures, options. When Robinhood started, we weren't really focused on the more sophisticated active traders. We were really focused on first-time investors. And we wanted to make the best and easiest way for people to get started investing. And what we found was over time, a lot of our first-time investors became more active traders. They leveled up fairly quickly. And part of that is just great content being available for free on the internet through YouTube and channels like yours teaching people about how to use these tools. And so a lot of our business and a lot of our most active customers were not newbies anymore. And they were less happy with Robinhood the more they used it. And so when we realized this, when we realized that our most active customers were actually the most dissatisfied with our product, we realized this was a big problem. So then we actually moved a lot of the resources and a lot of the best people in the company towards fixing that problem. And we fixed it relatively quickly. So within the first 6 months of moving our focus, actually active traders shifted to being the most happy customers we had. We fixed all of their issues. We changed the support model. But we didn't want to stop there. We wanted to actually create active trader products for the first time. And what you see with the Hood Summit is the culmination of that effort. So 3 active trader products built from scratch for this audience. And then we coupled that with inviting some of our most active customers to the event so that they could see us unveil them for the first time, so that they could like have fun and mingle with each other and with us and learn how to use these tools. The event side of it was kind of interesting too. So we had an event earlier this year, the Robinhood Gold event. I think we talked a little bit after it. We announced our new credit card and the new redesign of the product. And the way we think about that, when I was kind of thinking through how I wanted to run the company last year, this idea of like leaning into rituals really resonated with me. Like, yeah, we're launching these products. It's great. We can share it on Twitter or X or what have you. But there's something really magical about bringing the entire community together in one location physically that I think had been missing throughout COVID and a large portion of the start of this decade. And we kind of wanted to bring that back. And we thought we would try it on small scale with the Gold event, and that worked very, very well. And the Gold event's really about our Gold products, which are higher end wealth management type products that don't have to do with active traders. And once we saw how well that worked, we wanted to replicate it for active traders with the Hood Summit. And I think now we're kind of, now that I look at it, it's like something I want to do more of. Like, I love the idea of just having a rhythm of 2, maybe more events per year. And those events have different themes, and we announce products as well as bring different types of customers together. So I think we've got Gold as one, active traders another. We've been thinking about crypto as well. Robinhood's big in crypto. We're doing a lot of innovation there. So at some point we might do a crypto event. And then of course we have an investor event that is like targeting our public shareholders, our retail shareholders. That's in December. So yeah, very, very much I think the world that I want to be in is like announcing all of the great things that we're doing at various events, layering earnings on top of that, which is another opportunity as a public company to engage with our broader community. And if we're constantly launching new products and bringing our community of traders and investors together, I think, I think for me, that's just a lot of fun. That's kind of how I'd like to spend my time and how I want the company to move forward.
Yeah, nothing better than actually listening to the active people in the community and announcing the new innovations to them. I think it was perfect. The keynote was amazing last night. And so you talked about a lot of the new features. I want to talk about one that we spoke about maybe a few months ago that has done tremendously well, and that was the 24-hour live trade. Yeah. When we spoke about it, it was only 24 equities at the time. Last night you announced that there's over 1,000. Talk about the impact that's had on your community and overall as a platform.
I think that's been huge. And we're in a competitive space. People have lots of choices for what tools they use to trade on. And what we want to deliver for active traders, and hopefully Hood Summit kind of evokes this, is that we want the active trader products at Robinhood to be for those that want to be at the forefront of innovation and technology and financial services. Sort of like what the AMG or F1 line for Mercedes is. Small niche market. Not everyone's going to want an AMG. But for those that really care about motorsport and performance, and they love driving fast and pushing your vehicle to the limit, and there's probably a smaller number of those folks. They really love it. And I think active traders are the same. Like, there's less of them. Most people probably prefer to manage their money passively, or investing is like a relatively small portion of their daily life. But for some people, it's pretty much everything. And so we want to be the place, the platform for an active trader that really celebrates the fact that it is an important thing. And you should have the feeling, if you're using our active trader products, that you'd be at a disadvantage using anything else. I think 24-hour market is an example of that. So when we launched in the US, there was nobody else offering it for individual stocks. I mean, you had some people offering it for small ETFs, things like that. But we came out there, we offered it for individual stocks. We now have over 1,000 on the platform. And what you're starting to see is, like on Sundays, even before market open on Monday, people are sharing screenshots and talking about how the market is responding to news that's happening on the weekends. And I think you just weren't able to do that before. And it was pretty much only happening on Robinhood, which also served our interests of putting our brand up there with as like being the place you go to see market news and market movements, even in off hours.
What are the time frames during the day that they can trade?
Sunday, it starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, so 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's kind of like, I think it works well for me personally. I mean, I know a lot of people on Sundays kind of start working, start getting ready for the week. You've got your meetings on Monday. So part of my routine is like, I really start getting ready for the week and like what's happening on Monday alongside the market opening, 24-hour market. And that kind of gives you a sense for what's happening in the markets too. I mean, there have been so many weekend events that I remember just in the past year. One was the Discover Capital One merger. That news hit on the weekends, and you saw the market reacting on 24-hour market as well. GameStop, you guys remember GameStop? So a couple months ago, there was like a little resurgence of the GameStop mania, and that activity was happening on Sundays. And a lot of it was just Robinhood 24-hour market screenshots being shared. Even some of the OpenAI stuff, like when OpenAI had that little boardroom scuffle late last year, people were tracking the price of Microsoft stock in 24-hour market because obviously Microsoft was like a huge investor, and it seemed like they were scrambling a little bit to figure out what they were going to do when Sam Altman was kicked off the board. And so the 24-hour market became a way to track that in the public markets too.
As a futures trader, I have to say thank you. Can you talk to us about the innovation or lack of innovation that you saw in the space, and what features you plan to bring to the platform that allow us to be able to be more profitable as you introduce these features in?
Yeah, I think on the one hand, there hasn't been much innovation with like futures outrights. It's kind of been the same products. Maybe you see some innovation with like micros and now nanos, making them accessible to investors that, have smaller amounts. But I think in the same way that we kind of took options, simplified them, made them work really nicely on mobile, we could do that with futures as well. Unlike options, futures trade 24 hours. There's no sort of like restrictions and day trading, which I think complicates things for some equity and options traders. And they're capital efficient. Futures, very capital efficient product, which is probably why you like trading them and what makes them so useful. So in that front, we are leading on cost and user experience, particularly on mobile. But in some other ways, futures as sort of like a foundation for unique types of products has seen a lot of innovation. And now I'm talking about crypto futures, perpetual futures overseas, event contracts. If you trade event contracts, that's like a new and growing field. And all of that is basically an extension of like core futures infrastructure, which now that Robinhood's a regulated futures commissions merchant, we can get into outrights, but also expand to many other things in the future.
Is there any particular products in the futures segment that you're looking to focus on, or think the traders should focus on initially, or you'll just let the community kind of decide collectively which ones are best?
Well, what we demonstrated last night at the Hood Summit was certainly more of like the outrights, the index futures. Of course, we have like currencies, metals, energy as well. But event contracts are super interesting, and I think. One thing that I teased that I wasn't quite ready to talk about, but hopefully we'll talk about soon, is we think that there will be some surprise during the futures rollout. So hopefully we can introduce some unexpected things to customers, hopefully in as early as a few weeks.
So yesterday you spoke about, you kind of spoke about the journey of democratizing trading going back almost 20 years, right? And you spoke about how a lot of the brokerages have been absorbed by larger firms. And the picture that you painted to me sounded like, you're one of the few rebels that's still in the field, right? Fighting against the establishment. So talk about the importance of that, the danger in so many of the smaller brokerages being absorbed by larger firms, and your mission of still kind of carrying that torch of democratization. When
I was like really looking at and learning about the history of the space, you learn some interesting things. So, for example, Charles Schwab, the creation of Charles Schwab was actually in response to a regulatory change in the early 70s, when fixed commissions became deregulated. So before then, you were required to charge a minimum commission per trade. That went away, and that opened the door to Charles Schwab. And Charles Schwab actually, their original thesis was no frills. We're not going to try to sell you anything. We will just take your trade over the phone. You'll call us. Our agents will process your trade. They won't try to upsell you wealth management services. They won't try to confuse you. And we're going to be a low cost, budget, phone-based order taker. And that kind of worked very well for them. And they expanded beyond that to what's now just a behemoth conglomerate. E-Trade. You guys probably heard the story of E-Trade. It started with someone who had bought an Apple II computer and got the idea that they should be able to use this awesome new consumer machine to trade stocks. So I think that in some ways the origin stories are similar to Robinhood. I mean, we saw the rise of electronic trading and the rise of mobile, and we're like, you should be able to take advantage of both electronic trading and mobile devices to be able to trade stocks commission-free on your phone. And we kind of combine those two things. But I think what happened is, as these companies get older and bigger and kind of get further away from their roots, they sort of forget about the customers and the products that got them to where they were in the first place. And I'm not exactly sure why. And I think these are great companies and they're doing their best. But there is also some benefit of being a new entrant in the space, not having to worry about the legacy, right? And not having to worry about maintaining these old systems on mainframes that are running from the 70s or 80s. So, it's hard for me to impute whether they don't care. Probably there's some element of not caring, but also that I think it's just it's hard for them to move fast and be responsive to customers, given how big and large they are, and how they've been acquiring through acquisition and stapling other companies and platforms together over the years. That's got them into a state where they probably can't be as nimble as maybe they would like to be. And that creates an opportunity for us.
Yeah, I think that's a huge advantage, is that when you're the new guy, you can look at all of the aspects of the old guard and say we have flexibility to move on it. I want to talk about two of the things that you spoke about yesterday because they're extremely important. I don't want anybody to overlook it. Margin rates were lowered, right? That's a new feature that you announced. But in the options world, they can have simulated returns. A feature I haven't seen. I've been using other platforms. We'll leave their names anonymous. But talk about the importance of these things and how not only do they help the beginning trader, but more of the sophisticated trader, because it does. It's only there to help.
Yeah, I think margin rates were very big. I'll talk about, the usefulness for the customer is if you can borrow capital at rates, south of 6%, which, very competitive rates, they much lower than like typical credit card APRs or even mortgage rates, then, that opens up a lot of possibilities for you as a trader and an investor. You could take on leverage in your position. You can even take a portfolio line of credit so that you can withdraw money collateralized by your portfolio at the very low margin rate for spending off platform. So for a customer, it's very useful. And the lower the rate, the more it makes sense to actually utilize these types of loans. Now, for our business, frankly, we weren't that competitive on our margin product before we lowered these rates. And what we saw was, since we started getting more larger balance customers over the past year, after we rolled out retirement and started offering incentives to move portfolios over, big accounts have started to come in. And when we look at big accounts, the revenue and the contribution from those accounts to our business is driven more and more by margin. So if you think about it, as an account scales from hundreds of thousands to millions to tens of millions of dollars, their active trading activity doesn't scale linearly, but their margin usage tends to follow that trend. So, an account with $10 million is borrowing typically a similar ratio of their portfolio as margin as a much smaller account. And so for the revenue, as a revenue stream for our business, it scales a lot better for active traders. And so once we noticed that, we realized that it's very important for us to actually compete and be industry leading. Our market share has been really strong and growing for options and equities. But if you look at margin, up until we made this change, we weren't doing very well in market share. We were much, much smaller. Big incumbent competitors have tens of billions in margin books, and we were kind of at sub 5 billion. So that to us signaled that we've got a huge opportunity. If we could close the market share gap and actually become the leader in margin market share, then that's huge for our business.
Going back to your point on innovation, for everyone listening tonight, how do you stay innovative in an industry that usually is slow to make change, to make sure Robinhood doesn't become slow the way some other platforms and brokerages have in the past?
Yeah, and it's unclear to me why it's necessary to become slow. I think that, it's something that I try to fight as much as possible. I like to move fast while making sure customer funds and money are safe. But I actually don't see, if you do it right, there's not a trade-off there, I don't think. I think that if you build good systems that are safe and reliable and your foundation is good, you can move very, very fast. But I think it requires a continual investment in having the best technology and infrastructure. And one thing that I think distinguishes Robinhood is we're a technology company through and through. We hire the best Silicon Valley engineers, really engineers globally, but we're headquartered in Silicon Valley. And a lot of our competitors are focused on offshoring and outsourcing. So sort of how can we lower our costs to the greatest degree possible and get, engineers in India or other places. Whereas our approach is, I don't mind paying more. I would rather my cost per engineer to be higher than my peers, but we expect a lot out of our great people. And I'd also prefer to have a relatively small number of amazing people working together than just a large portion of like a huge teams of mediocre people.
We'll talk about Robinhood Legend.
Yeah, Robinhood Legend is we've had some of our best people on this for about a year. It was, I think, a year ago that we originally started designing this, and we rolled out a web product initially in 2018. So for a while, Robinhood was only available on mobile. It was iOS only first, and then Android, but no web. And then I think when we launched our web product, we kind of miscalculated a little bit, in the sense that the thesis behind the web product was you get all this extra real estate on web, and that gives us an opportunity to like provide education tools and discovery features for first-time investors. And again, we were focused on first-time investors, so this made a lot of sense to us at the time. But what we didn't realize was really the benefit of web and having all that extra screen real estate is you can fit powerful tools and you can trade and look at data on the same screen. And that was something that appeals very strongly to traders. So with Robinhood Legend, we actually sat down and we asked ourselves, what are the capabilities that you can only do on web that traders really care about, and can we like highlight those capabilities and surface them and bring them to the center and really make it a powerful tool that traders can only access on a desktop machine because of like the real estate and the performance and like the computational power that's available on that system.
Yeah, when we think about this year, 2024, the stock is up 114%. Year to date. You just talked about Robinhood Legend, which is going to be an amazing product. Futures is coming. When you look back at the vision board for 2024, do you think you've met every mark, or there's still some things that you're saying, you know what, I still want to get this done before the year's done, or push this into the first quarter of 2025?
I think I think by and large the team's done well. We always like shoot for things to be done a little bit faster than they end up being done. So of course, but I think that's really a nitpick. I'd rather they be done really, really well and hold them if needed. But, you know, when we started the year, we had our gold event. We rolled out a credit card. I think that's been going tremendously well. Gold subscribers are at an all-time high. So the gold product has been doing really well. Robinhood Legend and futures and index options, these are things that our active traders really want. And yeah, I think it's going to be, I'm excited to see what the actual feedback is when we roll them out to a larger audience. Legends, been rolling out. We actually had 1,000 people get access in the first 40 seconds. So when I announced it, I think the team was like making bets, not actual bets, but they were discussing how quickly the 1,000 invites would run out. And, I think 40 seconds blew out at anyone's expectations. So we're seeing if we can accelerate that, open up more. But yeah, I think getting the real feedback, seeing how people are using the products is going to be super informative. And we're already thinking about what we're going to ship the rest of the year and for the next gold event. And we just try to be ready. We're doing our best to invest in resilience across the board and to diversify and offer people different products. And we think that, the more products we have, the more resilient the infrastructure is, the better position we are to meet whatever event might happen, whether it's geopolitical, elections, really anything that can move the markets.
2024 definitely has been the year of AI. Any thoughts for 2025 to integrate AI technology into the active trader platform for futures and options?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When we talk to a lot of active traders, a lot of the folks at the Hood Summit, they really love trading. They're kind of curious about AI, but they still want to be in control of all the trades. They don't want to like hand off control. And, for them, it's fun too. Like they legitimately enjoy it. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about what the right ways to actually leverage AI in our space is. And I think that what I've come to is good use cases for AI are things that people already pay humans to do for them. So I think advisory is super interesting. I think advisory could benefit from AI either as a tool to augment the advisor or for sort of like lower account balance customers that can't afford to be served by an advisor, to just give them a financial advice, holistic financial advice at very, very low cost. So yeah, I think we're investing into the technologies, and we plan to be a leader here. And actually next year is probably when we'll see the first consumer products that have been like built with AI as a primitive.
Well, Vlad, thank you for your time.
It's always a pleasure, guys.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, good to hang with you in Miami.
For sure. And once again, congratulations. This is a great idea, great conference, and look forward to see what's next.
Yep. Yeah, we're excited too. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
Shout out to Vlad, shout out to Robinhood.
Yeah, shout out to Vlad, shout out to Nora, who is always gracious when we have to have communications between us and the team over at Robinhood, making things happen for us. But that was dope, man. Like every time we see him, this is the third time we've sat down with him. Just a really good dude, man. Was excited to talk about it. Was excited to talk about the new innovations. We actually saw it firsthand, the presentation.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Features platform is amazing. And it's interesting. I've always said it, but at the time he came in and changed investing and trading, then all of a sudden he got demonized. For those of you who don't know, every company on Earth sells data. Even some of your favorite wallet and blockchain companies get to migrating some of their data over. But what do I know? I've just been in the office at Guggenheim and Goldman. Y'all sat down with BlackRock, right?
We did.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I may tell you something we know from experience, and Rashad, we're gonna go over the list of other stuff you mad at, and I'm gonna add to it because Troy just,
Yeah. I just hit a smile, man. Yeah, I mean, and we talked about the stock up 125%. That's not to sneeze at.
It's a hell of a turnaround.
And we talking, you see how the moves that they've made have made the industry actually change the way they do business. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you that gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sat down and we sampled it ourselves, man. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about
gamification, and we were not paid to say this. I'm just telling you,
the simplicity of it.
Trader,
they definitely got something. And it used to be that was one of the knocks. Hey, I have Robinhood. I'm not a serious investor. You can only do it on your phone. Well, they've kind of answered all those things.
And the crazy part is because the futures market was kind of hidden. If they're able to put some safety measures in place, and you're able to get off good options trades and good futures trades at the same time, that's a big addressable market that they may, I was going to say swallow up, but pause. Oh, man. Content creators. Oh, man. Appreciate y'all.
Content creators. Well, it's been real, ladies and gentlemen.
We got any more rants? This other rants and gems.
Rants and gems.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy part, I told him on button, like, yo, the haters are the bigger critics. Yeah, great. I'm going to use everything you tell me, and then y'all still criticize. Y'all just want me to make 700-800.
And then another, like, I think somebody like, yo, I rock with EYL, but I'm concerned because I seen them sit down with BlackRock. They talk to BlackRock. Everything is the same. Republican, Democrat, Chase, Morgan. Like, you, bro, you're not going to escape this one. You can't escape it. You know what I mean? Like if you know, you know.
50, if you know, you know. It's like, come on, y'all change, y'all are.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm like, bro, goddamn, like y'all want just to charge? I'll charge y'all $440 per month. Cool.
On a discount.
Hey,
on a discount.
And the crazy part, we'll tell some of y'all the opportunities and you don't do nothing with it. I've seen Rashad call you, hey, bro, you should pull up here. Such and such gonna be here. No, you know.
And a lot of y'all, that Lil Durk situation, we're gonna talk about it on Blackout, but yet disloyalty has cost you guys millions of dollars.
That's
because where are you now?
What's the equity in?
What's the price? What's the price depreciation on being disloyal? Tremendous.
Yep. Just to break up a partnership, you fucking stupid, yo.
Your disloyalty has cost you millions of dollars and countless introductions.
Opportunities.
You guys have, you don't know billionaire. Never been to
Mike, clip that up.
if you were loyal, you would have been introduced.
There's a lot of power in partnership, and even going through, like when I was at the game yesterday, like Chiefs were close to losing. Then Pat was like, "All right, let's go win." They never left. Kelsey didn't run off at halftime like, "Fuck, I'm gonna go play for the Raiders." Sometimes you just have to stay and work through the grievances, the issues, and adjust at the line. Oh, this is going wrong. All right, come over here. Great.
Yeah, we know how to do this. We know how to win. Yeah, we know how to win.
Unless you French Montana, we're gonna talk about that.
He winning though.
He always wins.
Big win.
Never. That's a very dangerous game to play though. You got to be skilled. Very skillful tightrope. He's walking on a tightrope.
SEAL Team 6. Mossad. French.
He's just a likable guy, man.
Apparently.
Yeah. Free to way.
Apparently.
And he's from the continent.
Top 5 sniper all time though. Top 10.
He's all of fame.
He's sniping with a purpose.
He's all of fame.
He's sniping with a purpose.
That's a good. Should you snipe with purpose though?
Why else would you?
Well, everybody's not looking for that particular. Some people don't want the profile of celebrity sniping. They just sniping because it's like
sport. You think he's going into it?
It's like the sport.
You think he's going into it with that though?
People love the game.
Who can I snipe?
For sure.
Yo, yeah. He got to kill. He's Jason Bourne.
Yeah, he strategically did the analysis in his brain.
Pause. But they had the Splash Brothers Hall of Fame. You remember that? Him and Drake? They had the banners up and they had the list.
That's crazy work. Shout out to the boy.
Shout out to Frenchie. Bronx.
Supreme hustler, yo.
Morocco. My fault. Right now it's Morocco. Okay. Shout out to Morocco.
Yeah.
We'll lead us out. We'll lead us out Bronx out of this.
He gonna figure out he gonna figure it out. Hustler. He got it. He's from the Bronx. Because ain't nobody hustling like that. Like he's hustling.
He different.
He hustling.
Different.
I'm saying for his new connection, he might have to use the
market maker play.
Like Sean Poe. Sean Poe gonna go to Belize. Shout out to Poe. Poe go to Belize. He puts this accent on. Sean from Brooklyn, man. Sean from Brooklyn.
Shout out to his documentary.
Supreme Hustler.
Facts.
He got the Hulu documentary.
He's top 10, man.
Hey, Fletch, you need to stop though.
Yeah, what was that about?
I rock with you.
What was that about? I actually heard that. That I heard.
Flex, I rock with you, my brother. But
what did he say though? That was wrong.
Say he threw Puff under the bus.
He did. But shout out to Sean, but
he didn't. Puff threw him under the bus.
He did too. Two things could be true.
But like you're not. What role do you have in that?
That's funny. That's a good point.
You have in that?
Flex?
Yeah.
So Flex always gonna have an opinion about something, man. You know, that's just
what things. Shot.
It's like Tupac was wrong, man.
What?
Tupac was lying.
Y'all worship him. He's worth worshiping.
Yo, fuck, yo.
2015.
Flex crazy.
Damon Dash said what? He said, "Yo, 20 years ago I was a CEO. You was a what?"
No, we can't.
We're not gonna do that.
No, we can't disrespect.
I'm just asking.
We're not gonna listen. It's political season.
I'm not. Shout out to Flex.
Shout out to Flex.
He's actually
too much though.
We in the neighborhood. Shout out to Flex.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, bro. Like at some point,
too much.
DJs, MV Flex.
Yeah.
While we're here on a much more somber note.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Rest in peace to God's favorite DJ, DJ Clark Kent. A huge loss, not just for the hip hop community, for mankind. When you want to talk about one of the kindest, most gentle human beings that we've ever encountered on a personal level. Just every time you walked into him, it was a word of encouragement, whether it was what we were doing here at Earn Your Leisure or what we was talking about sneakers or what we was talking about home design. This dude, I mean, just an incredible dude. And you can see it if it's on your timeline. Everybody has had the same kind words about him. It's a tremendous loss, man. So shout out to the entire family. Keish, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Obviously, I reached out when we heard the news. We knew he was battling and fighting for a while.
Yeah.
And God called home his favorite DJ. So rest in peace to DJ Clark Kent. And yeah, man, reach out to your loved ones, man. Tap in with them. We always say at the end of the show, reach out. You never know what one phone call could do. So yeah, man, it's a tough one.
Rest in peace to Clark Kent, man. Legends never die. And colon cancer is something that's very real, especially for Black men. So get your colonoscopy. I think there's different ways to do that now without having to actually get fully violated.
But if we're gonna be real, that is a large reason why a lot of men don't go.
No, what you're saying makes it a large reason. It's not a violation. It's like, bro, you got.
I'm saying how I was
more for it.
Yeah, they can do it with the scope now, right?
What? What you mean? What you doing?
You can do.
They can do it without it.
It's invasive.
Invasive.
Yeah.
Non-invasive.
Non-invasive.
Yeah, that was actually when we were in Harlem.
It's crazy.
Like, what are you talking about? We were in Harlem with Robert Smith and Steve Harvey and Charlamagne. They were announcing a new technology that they can.
Yeah.
I checked for code. I have not, but I need to. I probably will do it at the top of next year. They said it used to be by the time you're
way or the new way.
Why are you trying to give my that's private?
This is real shit. So people
Rashad, you funny, yo.
If you do it the new way, I want to know how you do it because I'm not doing
it. If you do it the new way, you want to know how you do it? Hold on.
The new way,
but it was a good joke though.
No,
I don't plan on.
There's a lot of Black men that watch the show.
Yeah. So if it could be non-invasive, I will do it for sure. I am going to do it. I have to get checked. It used to be 40, and now they said the age is 45. I don't know if that was semantics there, but I'm definitely going to get it done at the top of the year. Obviously, we saw like our health is the most important thing. Like if we don't have that, we can't do any of this. Our family needs us. Our community needs us. The world needs us. So I'm definitely gonna get checked. And if it's non-invasive, that'll be the preferable way.
So you'll do it if you can't do it non-invasive, you're still gonna do it.
I gotta get a check, bro. Yeah. So it's what it is, man.
I'm just asking.
I mean,
I'm just asking a question.
If it's life,
have you done it?
Nope.
Are you gonna do it?
I am.
Which regardless.
Why are you making a joke out of it?
No.
I'm in Houston, so I go right to the medical center.
It's non-invasive.
Yeah, it's non-invasive. So
sure about that?
You trying to make a joke? No, it's real. It's real. No, it's real. Now, as Black men, it's a serious thing, and we like obviously we joke and we say pause all the time, but like, this is real. If it's life or death, and we can detect something early, then we should.
And some of y'all who went to the freak offs could have just got the 2-for-1.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this.
Real quick. Hey, go ahead and have your girl.
The egg test is wicked. That's different.
Wiki.
Yo, can we?
Suge Marion.
Yo, are y'all tapped into this Tyler Perry thing on Netflix?
I watched the first 10 minutes. Can
y'all talk about? Okay, all right, we'll talk about this all. But I need a topic. I'm gonna write a topic in for Blackout.
It was.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Very dark.
Number one show on Netflix though. Another one.
Not surprising. You know, we're gonna celebrate that shit. But
Black is beauty.
Shout out to Tyler Perry though.
Ian, check it out when you get a chance.
Market Mondays code. Go to EYLUniversity.com. Enter code Market Mondays at checkout. For the replay, it's choice option class. Yes. I got a class tomorrow about property and casualty insurance. And Mike just said Peloton stock. No, it's back on the move. So we'll see about that.
Back on the move. No. Don't do that. It's relative. It's down at $6. If it went up 10%, congrats, bro.
Yeah, but you got to sell at some point. Peloton over with. But shout out to Tucson.
We said that when we were at
the game yesterday too. Yeah, sell it at Ghana last year. I saw Ty yesterday. Ty Davis.
Oh, Ty Davis?
Yeah. I saw that. He was doing videography for somebody who was walking through the tunnel. Pause.
He wanted instructors for Peloton.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out to Ty Davis, man. All right, guys. It's been real. Love.
Peace.
Two things can be true.